Welcome into Sports Talk at the Stadium. Kevin McCrary here at Jordan-Hare Stadium in Auburn, Alabama. USC and Auburn played a great game. If you love offense, if you're a fan of slobber-knocker defensive football, this wasn't the match. The Gamecocks losing it by 7, 42-35. Carolina came into this one as a close to 20-point underdog, and they went toe-to-toe with the Tigers, just matching them blow for blow offensively all night long. But in the end, they ran out of bullets in their offensive arsenal and could not get a stop on the defensive end. Really a great performance for South Carolina from an offensive standpoint. Over 500 yards, 550 yards. Dylan Thompson had 400 yards passing. You couldn't ask for a lot more out of the offense. They did everything, big third down conversions. They converted 5 fourth down plays. 4 of those were on their side of the field. They really let it all hang out against this Auburn team. They got an onside kick, just a no holds barred, which is what you expect when you're a big underdog on the road. Steve Spurrier said, the only pressure they had was to play well. And from an offensive standpoint, they did it. From a special team standpoint, they did it. From a defensive standpoint, obviously, they did not. They got a stop on Auburn's first possession, and Auburn punted. And Gamecocks were probably feeling pretty good defensively. But the next several times Auburn had the ball, they scored, and they did it in pretty convincing fashion. Long drives. Their shortest drive was 75 yards. They did that twice, once in one play on a long run. They went 90-plus twice, 88 yards once. They just marched up and down the field on the Gamecocks. Now, USC did the same to the Auburn defense. Ellis Johnson not feeling a lot better today probably than Lorenzo Ward, although he does have a win. And his defense got turnovers when they had to. Dylan Thompson threw an interception in the first quarter, a costly throw on second down on the 11-yard line with the Gamecocks up 7. That cost them at least 3 points. Auburn went down to score, so it was a big swing. In the fourth quarter, after that onside kick, the Gamecocks were in the red zone just inside the 20. Another second down play, throwing it towards the end zone, came up short for Shaq Rowland, intercepted. The Gamecocks there had an opportunity to take the lead in the fourth quarter, and it didn't work out. The last interception came on the final possession from the Tigers 41, kind of a desperation pass into the end zone there that got knocked down. Jarrell Adams did have a crack at it, but did not corral it. It was picked off, and Steve Spurrier said he would have gone for 2 had they got that play. It shouldn't shock anybody that the defense struggled tonight, and that's what everybody's going to talk about. I think that the fact that they struggled as badly as they did, I think people thought, you know what, if they get 1 or 2 stops more than they had, they got 2. They stopped Auburn on their final possession just to give the Gamecocks a shot there. So give them a little credit there. Auburn didn't run out the clock. But if they just, force a turnover, do something on that side of the ball. But they were just, granted, facing a great offense. Auburn is unbelievable, over 400 rushing yards. They're the real deal. So you want to give them credit. But if you're Lorenzo Ward, you have to be disappointed you didn't even slow them down at all. They didn't have to convert a lot of third downs. It was so easy for them. And it was to the point where Steve Spurrier went for it on fourth down from everywhere. They were on their own 33-yard line, 14-14 game in the second quarter, and he went for it and got it. And the same with the onside kick. And, they're not going to face another offense like Auburn. Their defense is going to be what it is. They're not a very good defense right now, and there's a lot of different reasons for it. I know people are really on Lorenzo Ward and the staff right now, and I don't think it's all unwarranted because, yeah, you're struggling from a talent standpoint, but their technique, their form, their tackling, it's poor. And, it's one thing to have a defense that's struggling from a personnel standpoint. You're just playing guys that are better than you. It's another thing to whiff on tackles, to not make your use good technique when you're trying to make a tackle in the open field, taking bad angles, all of those sorts of things. Don't just come down to talent. That comes down to playing with discipline, playing your assignment, and being coached up. So I do think the defensive coaches do have to answer for that. And I'll tell you, it's a shame for South Carolina. They have one of their best offenses, arguably, and you can make a strong case for this, arguably the best offense at South Carolina in the Steve Spurrier era. Great running game, a really solid offensive line, a quarterback that, look, he's not Connor Shaw in that it factor, but from a statistical standpoint, Dylan Thompson is having one of the greatest seasons in the history of the University of South Carolina football. The Gamecock offense has had 500-plus yards in each of the past 3 games. First team to do that since the 1995 team, which coincidentally enough with Steve Tannehill, they scored a lot of points and couldn't stop anybody. I'm sure Spurrier would have loved to have had this offense last year or the year before, or a few of those years when they came up just short in the SEC. So in closing, how do you feel if you're a Gamecock? Spurrier said, there are no moral victories. I will tell you, listen to his post game. It's posted here at sportstalksc.com. He was not, and he's probably as upbeat as I've seen him in the past month and a half since that Missouri loss. He had fun out there. This is his kind of game. Now, he's disappointed, and he said there's no moral victories, but he did say next week against Tennessee is a better matchup. Really, they have some pretty good matchups coming up here for the next 3 games with some offenses that are struggling a little bit, and a chance to maybe make a little hay and get a little momentum going into that final game at Clemson. I know Clemson's offense is a mess right now. Their defense is great, but they're going to get some guys back, that Deshaun Watson guy, and anything can happen. But South Carolina right now, I think if they can continue to play at that level offensively and just stop a cold, I mean, it improve a minuscule amount from a defensive standpoint. They won't have to face another Auburn. They have a chance to finish okay. They're not going to win 11 games, obviously. We knew that 3 weeks ago, but they still could finish strong. So I think what you take away from this, if you're South Carolina, is had a shot at Auburn. You were a 20-point underdog. If somebody would have told you last week, hey, you're going to have the ball with the chance to tie the game or win it in the fourth quarter, you would have taken it. You wouldn't have cared what the defense did, what the offense did. If it was, 7-0 or 42-35, a chance to win it on the road at Auburn, that's good. They overachieved in terms of their performance here today. And going forward, you look at every game potentially a winnable game if South Carolina can perform like they did offensively tonight and improve a little bit defensively. So I think all in all, more good to say about this than bad. It's going to be one of those years defensively for South Carolina, and they're going to have to do a lot of soul-searching. Problems that can't be solved this year won't be solved this year. You have to hope for improvement. I don't know that you saw any improvement tonight with that defense. They played a great offense, but you got to do better than that if you're Lorenzo Ward and his staff, no doubt about it. And he knows that. He'll be the first to tell you that. I'm not trying to dog the guy. It's everybody saw it. They've got to do better than that on the defensive side of the ball. So that's going to do it from here at Jordan-Hare. Auburn 10-1-1 all time against the Gamecocks. And this could be Spurrier's last game in the state of Alabama with the SEC slate and his age. He probably isn't going to get another chance to coach in this stadium in his career. But that's going to do it. Check out sportstalksc.com. More from Spurrier coming up on the Sunday teleconference. If that's not up already, it will be soon on Sunday, and we'll have a recap and your calls on Sports Talk beginning Monday. Appreciate you tuning in to Sports Talk at the stadium here at Jordan-Hare.